So welcome back to another episode of the Barbells Biz and Bikini podcast. I'm your host Lucy and I've got another guest podcast today. And in this one we're covering two pretty diverse topics, to be honest, but two that I think you will find both insightful, potentially very helpful for some of you out there. And for some of you, I think you're just going to love it because it's something that I've not had a guest on who does anything like this yet. And it's something you're all going to love and you can all get a little cheeky something out of at the end, but you're going to have to listen to the end for that to be revealed. So I'm joined by Jen today. I was going to introduce you and who you are, but you take the floor, introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I'm Jen. Because of the topic of this podcast, I run a peanut butter and almond butter company. I do natural bodybuilding. I also work full-time as an assistant manager in Costa Coffee. So yeah, that's, I guess, where I'm at the minute in terms of juggling lots of different variables.
There's quite a few things going on there. I thought I was busy. 3 fun facts about yourself, and I mean, what you've covered there is pretty some pretty interesting stuff there because there's a lot going on. But 3 fun facts. Come on, let us know some interesting facts about yourself. Everyone loves this question.
I know I was trying to think about this because I've listened to a few of your podcasts.
So you got time to prepare. You knew it was coming, so.
I guess I can write with both hands, so that's always an interesting-ish one. An interesting one, I have a fear of sweat, and I know that is a really strange thing for someone who's into bodybuilding.
But today's been great for you then in this heat, hasn't it?
I know, that's it. I've got a degree in nutrition and food science.
Amazing. Where did you get that done? Uni?
Nottingham.
Nice. Awesome. So that's the nitty gritty standard intro. But let's touch first on the first topic which we're going to cover today, which is I don't want to say the less exciting, but I think it's the more informative side of things. So we're going to be touching on sort of eating disorders and bodybuilding because it's a topic. So I did one with Christian about this, but Jen, like myself, has had past experience with an eating disorder, and well, I'm going to let her tell her story, but we both come to a point where fitness and bodybuilding is something that has helped us get to where we are today and continues to help us. So just for the listeners, a bit of background into your journey from where you were and how fitness has helped and how you sort of progressed from, because I guess, bodybuilding is all about fueling yourself and making sure you're eating enough. And so it's quite a big transition from it's anorexia, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Same as me. So it's quite a big transition, really. So bit of background. So where things began in terms of fitness, what came first, and how it sort of all transitioned into where you are now.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I have always been into fitness and things like that. So I did used to do competitive swimming before I obviously got unwell. And then I had to kind of quit pretty much everything for quite a number of years and everything like that. And I guess I was given the option of I either get sectioned back into a hospital or I kind of recover. And, I had a friend who was kind of a bit further along that journey than me. And, she was into kind of fitness and things like that. So I was asking her lots of different questions and then, I guess didn't necessarily start off the right way. Was doing way too much and not actually eating at all or just eating clean foods, and then kind of got a bit lost in that whole if it fits your macros thing and not eating throughout the day and then having this massive flex bowl sort of concoction-y thing.
God, I can relate to that so hard. The yog bowls of, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, so then after that it's just slowly been a case of actually learning a bit more about it, and then kind of going into a bit more of a serious kind of aspect and learning about the lifting and getting actually into the actual lifestyle rather than kind of doing the exercise but then not actually eating enough, if that makes sense.
For sure. Now this is one that I've I've struggled to answer, to be honest, but you might be able to word it the best than I am, because I think my answer, I'll come on to what I think my answer is. People have often said to me, like, why, how have you gone from, you know, I never expected you, of all people, to get into bodybuilding, to wanting to be, you know, a bit bigger, more, you know, muscular and defined, because they always imagined, you know, if I was going to go into some sort of sport based on my past, that it'd be something where it wasn't aesthetics focused, because it seems so contradictory that, you know, it just doesn't seem, it's a strange one, isn't it, to try and understand why you'd want to do something like that from something like that. But I think my answer to that is, well, anorexia is never about how you look. Like, the fundamentals of what's going on there is not about how you look, it's about the control side of things. And having a sport where everything is about controlling things, but in a healthy way, in a way that optimizes things, I think for people who have that person, because I think in general people who've had the disorder have a specific personality type. You know, if you've met people who've had it in the past, there's so much in common. That perfectionist, almost OCD personality, it reflects upon pretty much everyone. And I think in this sport, it's perfect for those sort of people. It's absolutely perfect. I'd like to sort of know your sort of thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, like you said there, like, you know, any eating disorder, whether that's anorexia or, you know, bulimia, whatever it is, it's never about like how you actually look. There's so much more, you know, for everyone is different, aren't they? Everyone's got a different reason why they fell into that mental health aspect in the first place. But yeah, I mean, it's completely not about how you look at all. It's a mask and a coping mechanism for what you're trying to deal with that you feel that you can't actually talk about or control in your life. Whereas that's it. I think with having that kind of, I guess, I don't want to call it willpower, but it kind of is in a way, like to actually kind of be that regimented with yourself to get to that point.
And I don't know about yourself, but for me, like, I know a lot of people struggle with the sort of, you know, the quote unquote ticking boxes side of things, but I don't. And I think, again, that's a reflection of the personality types that we have, because that's, I think, having structure and routine and things to focus on and things that drive us is something within our personality that is a coping mechanism. The same way the control of the food was. So for me, I obviously, don't get me wrong, some days when, you know, like I'm dieting now, you know, I'm like, I've still got 2,000 steps to do, I just want to lie down, I'm tired, or I'm hungry. I'm not saying I don't find it hard, but I don't find it I have to do it, and it's just something that just comes second nature to me. And I don't know, because I know you're not prepping or anything now, but, you know, the whole sort of making sure I'm eating enough, doing this workout, doing this, do you find it, quote, not easy, but easier than probably other people might do?
Yeah, I think it is. It's one of those aspects of, that's it. You want to just tick every variable, and it's kind of like you feel not bad if you've not done it, but it's kind of like you're that much in a routine that it's sort of like, you know, it's just easy to stick to that routine and everything along those lines.
Yeah.
How have you found it as well? Like, you know, with obviously with prepping and things like that, like, you know, from having that kind of background to, have you found psychology aspect?
Interesting one. So I've looked on, you know, you like your Instagram, it tells you what you posted like a year ago today, 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been on quote unquote cuts this time last year for the last couple of years. So because I started in fitness when I was first year uni, and I'd got fat. I'd gone on the other end of the scale. I'd got fat, but that's another story altogether. That'd be another podcast, another hour of me talking about that background, which I will do at some point. It's on my to-do list. But yeah, so the first year I wasn't big by any means, but I was going on holiday, so I did a little mini cut. And I think that one I did find hard in terms of the feeling like the eating disorder tendencies might have been coming back a bit, getting a bit obsessive. And then last year, I had serious diet brain in that I thought I didn't get lean enough last year. And I look back and I was pretty much a few weeks away from getting on stage, like small, but I didn't see it. And I'm in the best position I am now with food, and I still have mini wobbles here and there, but in all honesty, when I talk to people about them, everyone who sort of prepped or most people who've prepped or have done, you know, this sort of bodybuilding extreme dieting can relate. So I don't really feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm the same person. I feel like my struggles are normal, like not, you know, not feeling lean enough is normal, not, you know, feeling, I don't know, it's definitely, I'm definitely improved. I'm not the same person I was, and I'm always getting better. Like this time last year, the thought of like off-plan meals, and it did still scare me a bit. So like if my friends were going out for meals, I'd be having to be really thinking about it, planning it, restricting a little bit. But now, I think now where I am now, I'm in the best position possible. You know, having off-plan meals, and when I do go into off-season again in August, it's my goal to just say yes more to family occasions. And I mean, I've gone to them, but I've sort of tracked and just to literally let go. And I think I can do that. And 100% honestly, I don't think I could have got there without the support of the coach that I have now, Vicky. And to be fair, my first ever coach, Becca, who I'm going to give a shout out to at the moment, because at the moment she is actually fighting off cancer. It's horrendous. I'll leave her Instagram in the description. Please go follow her, show some support, because she's a hero. But the coaches I've had have both had experiences and they know how to help, and I think that has been a godsend. And obviously you've got thingy, haven't you? It's yours. Yeah, so having someone who understands it, I think, is the best move I made. If I'd have just gone with a generic prep coach who's not had someone with that experience, totally lost my voice there, I promise I'm not crying, who's had that experience, they understand things in a different way. So within a few weeks of me starting with Vicky last off season, it was right, you're having these intuitive days where you can have what you want. And at first I was like, what the hell? That's no, I need to be sticking to this. But that's helped so much. And I've gone off a bit of a tangent there, but I think if you have had that experience in the past, one, you need to make sure you mentally are ready for the prep, in terms of you're never fully recovered, but you're in a very, very good spot.
Yeah.
And I think having a coach who not necessarily has been through it themselves, because there's not many who have, but at least will understand and appreciate where you're coming from, because that has been, I think if I'd have had someone who just said at times, get on with it, or do this, or why are you panicking, or why are you stressing about food, why, you know, I think it would potentially have brought back bad habits and tendencies, potentially.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it is so important, like having someone who does understand it. And, you know, if they've been through it themselves, then that's an even a benefit in themselves. And I think that's why I went with Christian, because I've had other coaches in the past, and like, I'm not like, I'm going to be quite vulnerable here. I'm not as far ahead in terms of like the off plan kind of meal aspect, because that's something that I've never really done until I've obviously started working with Christian. And that is still something that I'm currently working on, because that brings a lot of anxiety to actually not have it incorporated into my macros and stuff, because that's not something I've done with any other coach. But, you know, having like someone there who you can actually talk to about these things, it just makes such a massive difference.
Absolutely. It is a challenge, and, you know, I was there like this time last year, that was me as well. So, you know, having someone who understands it, though, it will help, and you will get there for sure. So you did sort of mention as well in your little brief intro, and I didn't actually know this, that you are, you know, you said natural bodybuilding. Is that something then you're wanting to do, prepping down the line? Is that on the cards? Is that a future goal of yours?
Yes, down the line. I'm thinking that I want to do like more figure, and I know that muscularity wise I'm nowhere near that. So yeah, it is going to be a couple of years of actually, you know, some solid kind of muscle growth before I kind of do anything along those lines. But yeah, I mean, I went to a show I think it was last August, and it was just amazing, like actually just seeing everyone there. And, you know, I don't know, sometimes you go to things and it just something clicks, doesn't it, when you watch people, and it's just, yeah, it was just.
That was the same with me. Yeah. I went to go to my first show about 2 years ago. It was my family friend. It was only even a small show, so it wasn't even these big jazzy sort of PCA, which are amazing shows. It was a very small little natural federation, little church hall, and that lit the spark. And that's when I knew. I was like, this is for me. This is my calling. This is amazing. Like, that goosebumps feeling. I don't know if you could relate, just watching it and being in like awe and just feeling like, wow. What show did you go see, just out of interest? What fed?
It was the BNBF Southern.
Yeah, ace. So figures the goal. Figures the goal. 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome, you'll get there. And you're also, I mean, you mentioned this, but I know this from sort of us back and forwarding and the socials, sort of looking down a new sort of potential route of work, bit of PT work.
Yes.
How's this come about? Let's talk about this, because this is something I can obviously relate to as well. And, you know, you take the reins first. So what sort of made you and led you into this decision?
So it's something that I've wanted to do for a little while. But I don't know, I think kind of didn't feel confident to be able to do it, or felt, you know, like my knowledge wasn't good enough for all that kind of stuff. But then, you know, obviously lockdown happened and I was just like, you know, I've got time now to actually learn about it. And so yeah, then I started to do PT like level 2 and 3, passed both of those exams with the PT Collective, which has just been absolutely amazing to actually have all that kind of support. And then yeah, I've started to like work with a few people on an online kind of basis, just to get, you know, get different experience and things like that as well. But yeah, it's just slowly getting into it. And I think because obviously with my kind of background in that, I want to not only kind of help people actually get a, you know, the physique that they want, but also kind of working a lot more on the mental health kind of side of things. So helping people improve their relationships with food and everything along those lines as well.
Absolutely. It's mad how similar this is to myself. Like, that is why I do it as well. So I did psychology at uni.
Oh yeah.
I kind of got pressured a bit into uni. You know, school were like, oh, you're smart, you go to uni. And I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. But, you know, you get that pressure on you and everyone around you is going, so you think I should go. And I was sort of, at the time, didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. But I thought, I'll go with psychology. It's quite broad, it's quite generic. And at that point, that's when I had my struggles in sixth form. And I thought, well, the potentially might be then routes to go down with psychology, like psychiatry, so I could help people. Because this is another topic altogether. The help I got in terms of sort of counselling for my issues was shocking. It was appalling, and I wanted to change that. That was my initial goal, to go get some psychology degree and be able to help people in a way that I thought I was failed in that sector, basically. And then it sort of, I was like, actually, this is going to take a long time to get. If you want to be a psychologist, you've got to do like 5, 6, 7 years, and then loads of research, and it takes forever to get where you want to be. So I was like, oh, this is me. And then as I was getting into fitness, it wasn't until sort of before last year, really, that I thought, it's about this time, about January last year, I realised I hated uni and wanted to drop out. And I thought, well, I've got 6 months left, so I'll just stick it out. And the more I was getting into fitness, the more people were seeing that I'd changed. People would come and train with me, and I'd go train them, and people would ask me questions. And I thought, I'm helping people here. Like, I'm helping people. I wanted to help people. I wanted a job that helps people. Okay, psychologist off the cards. I love fitness and I love training, but my passion was to help people, and I can now do both. And that was when I thought, you know what, this is the route I want to go down. And like I said, I'm not just about with me and my coaching services, so this is not me plugging here at all. I'm all about mindset and mental health. Like, in my check-ins, we ask about how you're feeling and stresses. It's not just about, cause it's a holistic approach, it really is. And if I know that I'm helping people to feel better in themselves, then job done, job well done.
That's it, definitely.
Be interesting to know then what your sort of long-term plans and goals are in this quote-unquote industry, both on the side of the competing side of things as well, so, and also where you'd want to take PT/online coaching, sort of what's the plan of action, or the goals as well.
Well, I mean, the ultimate goal is obviously to help as many people as possible. I mean, I want to go fully online eventually, and because I think it's an area where you can actually help more people. I know there's a lot more it's a lot more, not harder, but like more demanding than obviously like in-person PT, because, you know, you're available 24/7, everything like that. And it's, you know, it's a lot more pressure and things. But I just, you know, when you get like a message from someone on WhatsApp and you can actually, you know, you can help them in that moment, and it doesn't have to wait till, you know, you see them on a next session. It's just, it's so amazing to just be able to help people. So yeah, I'd like to have, you know, like fully operating like online business. I mean, I'm thinking to eventually maybe, you know, have other coaches involved. If I can scale it to that kind of level, that would be amazing, to have like an umbrella kind of aspect, especially with, you know, the mindset and nutrition, would be incredible. And then kind of competitive wise, I don't know. I mean, everyone wants to win a show, don't they? So yeah, I've not really thought like long term wise. I think because I've never done it before, I want to see where I am to start with, and then I think that'll give me an indicator of where I want to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I really, really like your rationale there for getting into this industry. Like, it's one of those industries where people fizzle out very quickly. Like, obviously, I'm not someone who's at that point yet, but I know that most people in the sort of fitness industry fizzle out in 1 to 2 years, and I think that's because their motives are in the wrong place. It's money orientated, or it's, I like gym, I'll help people. But when you've got that passion that we both have to help people, it's not about money and it's not about gym. It's about people and changing their lives for the better. And it's not just about dropping that dress size. It's making someone empowered and feel happy in themselves. And for me, that is everything. When I get those messages, when they say, I feel really confident this week, my confidence is growing. I don't care what that scale said that week. I don't care if they didn't get a PB that week. When I see a message like that, that is why I do what I do. And they won't care that they didn't get a PB that week. And they don't care that the scale is the same that week, because they feel better. And that's what it's about. Yes, it's definitely about health and everything else, but ultimately that is what it's about for me, for sure. Yeah. Okay, then let's transition on to the fun side of things, the other little business which you run. So this is how I came to know you and come across you. A few months ago now, she did a little competition on her little business, and one of those, you know, share on your Instagram stories, which we all do, and I'll pray to God that we win, and we never do, and it's really sad. But this is one that I actually genuinely really wanted to win, and because if you know me, you know that peanut butter is one of my favourite things in the world. Anything peanut butter, almond butter based is just life. And I got the message in the DMs the one day saying, congrats, you've won. And I was like, oh, buzzing. So I looked on the website, got a little voucher through, ordered a couple, and wow. I'm a critic when it comes to peanut butter, because I'm very much, you know, I know what I like, but oh, it's incredible. So I could hype this up all day, really could. But yeah, how did this come about then? Because it's a bit of not an unusual one, but it's something very different. You know, I don't know anyone else who's got their own like little foodie business like this. So how did it come about? Where did it start, and how have you sort of scaled it to where it is now? Because it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, so I guess like the main reason behind me actually doing it is I use like peanut butter during my recovery. So like the initial idea was to somehow incorporate that message of, you know, like it doesn't matter where you've kind of come from, that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. But I guess it's yeah, I found this nut butter in a TK Maxx that, you know, TK Maxx, you can never buy it there again, because it's never there again, can you?
That's what I love and hate about it. It's so random, but then if you like something, it's never there ever again.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I had that experience with a nut butter and couldn't find it again. So I decided to make my own. And it was, again, a similar thing to the PT aspect. So made it, sent it off to a few friends. I sent it off to Christian, actually, to start with, and Jack Thorburn.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they both liked it, but I was just like, no, it's not going to work. And then it took me about 6 months. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try it at a farmer's market, see what it goes like. And yeah, everyone liked it. So I was like, right, okay, so I'm going to start this up really. And then, yeah, I started it officially last March, so March 2019. And then, yeah, I've just been doing different farmers markets, trying to create different flavors. Got very over carried away with different flavors.
That's what's amazing. That's what makes it so different and amazing. Because there's a few companies like bigger, I can't remember the names, but they do like these different flavored ones. But the macros then just get skewed, like because they've added chocolate chips, and it's then like 2 grams of protein, 40 grams of fat, 50 carb, and it's like, well, then it's just a cheat meal, isn't it? You know, the whole point of these are ones that the macros were very similar to what you'd find in sort of a standard peanut butter, but the flavors. I think what ones did I order? I ordered a Biscoff, yeah, guys, like a Biscoff caramelized cookie one, which was ridiculous. It was the Easter one. I liked that one, and then it was the birthday cake almond butter. Like I couldn't stop talking about it to people. I was like, guys, you just need to get this. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I think with obviously having the fitness background and the food science background, it's allowed me to actually kind of make things that are kind of macro friendly that actually taste good. Because that's it. I mean, the last thing that you want is, you know, to have something that you can't have, if that makes sense, especially in like the fitness industry, because it's all just plain standard nut butters, or, you know, the typical chicken and rice or what everyone thinks that we eat.
Yeah, I do, but, you know, but that's a different story.
But yeah, so I thought it would be nice to actually have different flavors, and yeah, like just it's been amazing creating all of them, definitely.
So just to get everyone excited and hyped, I know a couple of them, but give some insight in some of these weird and not weird, that's the wrong word, but wonderful flavors. So obviously you've got your standard, you've got your normal peanut, not in Morrison's, you've got like peanut, almond, cashew. You've then got sometimes you've got like a peanut and maple, coconut and almond. I think you do a version of that as well, but give some insight into some of the fun ones that you've got as well. So get the nut butter fans drooling.
Yeah, so well, the ones that you mentioned so far is probably some of the most popular ones. So the white chocolate Biscoff peanut butter, that's probably the favorite one. So good. Then yeah, white chocolate honeycomb cashew butter, that's also like one of the popular ones. But yeah, that's the first cashew one that I've done, and it's actually gone down really, really well. The almond, like the birthday cake almond butter, which yeah is amazing. Maple pecan almond butter, which is kind of like it's very kind of like maple syrupy ready breakfast type flavor. So it's amazing in porridge, like definitely. What else have I done? So there's that many that I can't even remember. Chocolate orange hazelnut butter, chocolate chip and pretzel peanut butter, and then you've got like more of your standard ones. So you've got a coconut almond butter, a cinnamon raisin almond butter, and then the deep roast peanut butter. Yeah. So quite a few, just a few.
Yeah, just out of interest, do you do all this by yourself? Is it totally your own? Do you have helpers?
No, it's totally me, with obviously working 40-45 hours as well. It's
incredible, interesting.
That's
something I wanted to sort of touch upon as well, was a bit behind the scenes, because when people run these sort of, I mean, I'm comparing it here to sort of, people do like the little baking things. I guess it's sort of a similar thing in these little small independent businesses, which all look, shiny and the products coming out, but people don't see the groundwork, so what's actually going on behind the scenes. So maybe talk us through, obviously, because you're still working as well, what people maybe don't, not necessarily understand, but maybe don't appreciate or realize what actually goes into having to run your own little business like this, especially actually having to physically make things as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the minute, like I'm using a domestic blender, so that can only literally make 2 to 3 an hour. So it's basically lots of early morning sort of roasting the nuts, getting them ready before I go to work. And then as soon as I finish work, it's pretty much, blending, labeling nut butter packages and everything like that for a good 2 to 3 hours most evenings. Or like, lockdown was pretty good because I had more time to actually do stuff. But yeah, at the minute, and especially when I get, if I get like a wholesale order in, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's good, but it's also a nightmare at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because it's so difficult to get the volume there with kind of like the everything that I've got at the minute. But no, I think that's it. It's like, it's a difficult thing to manage, especially, trying to keep on top of social media, everything like that, and responding to everyone with obviously having, because I mean, it would be different if I had an office job, but because I work in Costa, it's not a job where you can literally be on your phone. So it's been interesting, but I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way because I absolutely love it. I mean, there have been times where I've thought of giving it up, but no, I'm so excited for the next phase that's coming because there's going to be a lot of
I'm glad you didn't give it up because I wouldn't have been introduced to it. So obviously, I'm guessing there's some sort of secret plans, and but maybe sort of discuss what sort of long term or what you wanting to scale it to, or what you're planning. So what are the next steps for Grind Nuts?
Yes. So, well, I don't know whether to say or not because, right, okay, I will let you into a little secret. So in end of July kind of time, I'm having a bit of a rebrand. So it's going to be completely different, like all the labeling, all the packaging, everything is going to be completely different. So that's kind of why it's gone a little bit quiet, because I'm trying to scale out all of the old kind of products and bring in lots of new things and a new website and everything like that. And this will be quite exciting because it'll be the next step to actually, I'm trying to get into supermarkets by like next year or the year after. So yeah, I'm looking at getting a facility, in the process of potentially leaving my job, depending on like a few different things. So yeah, it's going to be massive in terms of just trying to get everything like going, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's exciting, but it's
That would be
big
so
risk.
exciting. I like if I walk into a supermarket, if I walk into Morrison's, which by then hopefully won't be awful social distancing, dodging everyone, queuing, sanitizer spray everywhere, no toilet roll conditions. When I go into Morrison's, then hopefully that'll be so cool to see it on the shelf, because it is a shelf I always walk past, like regardless to whether I'm buying anything or not. That and the cereal aisle are just two aisles that I always go at, and now I really shouldn't because I'm just torturing myself. I go and look at the nut butters, I go look at the Biscoff, I'm like, oh, I love all these. And I go look at the cereal and go look at all these. And to see that on the shelf and just to think, yeah, she did it, that, I'll feel proud. Like, I will, but I know you can do it because it's so different. And that's one thing I loved about it. It was different. Like, the taste of it was very, very pure. That sounds like a really stupid way of describing it, but you can just tell it's just homemade and it's wonderful. And I am going to say this now because you don't have to say it. I'm going to plug it for you because I don't plug anything. I don't plug things I don't believe in. I'm a brutally honest, sarcastic person. You'll all know this from the podcast and how I say things. I just say things how it is. These are worth your investment. If you like peanut butter, almond butter, you want to try something a little bit different, you want to have a different flavour, get on it. I'll leave the link, the website. It's still up, isn't it, the website? I know you're rebranding, but it's obviously
Yeah.
I'll leave it in the description. And I have got a little discount code for you all as well. Managed to get that sorted for you. What can I say? treating you. But honestly, guys, support a small business, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Just do it, and then share it on your stories, share it around, because it's worth investing in. It really is. Like, they are just to die for. Like, when I finished, I want to order some more, but I'm scared because my fats are coming down as I come towards the tail end of this little mini prep. So I can only literally have like 10, 15, sometimes 15 grams of peanut butter in a day, depending on what I've done with my macros. And you need more than that. You need at least 20, 25 grams. So I don't know if I can trust myself now to have them in the house, but they're getting ordered because I kind of want to try them all. Like, I literally just want to try them all. It was one of those situations where I was like, 3's enough, but it's kid in a sweet shop. So please, guys, just get on it. Plugged it for you there. You're welcome.
You did a good job there, definitely.
There you go, marketing for free. So that's one less problem for you right there. I'm doing all your marketing for you. I don't get any commission on this, guys, just saying. So I'm not even like, it's not even like she's like saying, oh, please, I'll plug it in, I'll slip you someone that sidelines. I promise this is all genuinely coming from me. But yes, I think that is everything I wanted to cover, but we have one question. You probably know what's coming, as you said, you've listened to the podcast.
I do.
So then, I don't need to even ask the question. What's the answer?
So, I think I'm going to go with the new one that I tried the other day. So, it is the peanut butter honeycomb clusters from Tesco's. They're really, really nice.
Is that like a granola then?
Yeah, it's kind of like a granola style cereal. It's got like chocolate in it as well. It's really, really nice.
Tesco's own?
Mm.
That sounds mega. That sounds like one that is something that will come in once my prep's finished with a good scoop of grind nuts on top as well. Love thrown in there as well, but oh yeah, 100%. Someone I mentioned, I don't know if it was on the last one or one of them. I think I've said it on them all. The Aldi chocolate and peanut butter balls that came out last year.
I've not seen them yet.
Well, I've not seen them, but someone tagged me in the story on Instagram the other day and was like, they're back. And I was like, oh my Lord, they are back. So I've been asking my mum every time she's gone into Aldi, if you see them, Mum, please buy me a box of 3 or 10 and put them away for my birthday. I won't be able to eat them on my birthday, but I'll be able to have them after, once my shoot's in August. And she's like, no, I've not seen them yet. So this person did actually offer to send me some in the post. So I might have to DM her and be like, I need that offer, take it, because they're ridiculous. Peanut butter fan yourself. Have you had the Reese's Puff cereal before?
I've not had that one, no. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that, but amazing.
Yeah, I've started to do some interesting cereals. Have you seen the new ones that they're doing in B&M?
I've not been in B&M in a while with this whole social distancing malarkey. It's not the same. I like to, B&M for me is a day out. B&M for me is you browsing down, looking at all the random trash. I love it. Yeah. I've got one next to my work, and I used to go on my breaks and just spend an hour there. It's a great way to rack up steps, but now with the pressure of it and social distancing and fearing for your life and diseases, it's not the same.
Yeah. But definitely check it out, because there are some interesting new ones in there.
Like, so come on, get me excited.
So I've seen quite a few on like Instagram. There's like chocolate. It's almost like, you know, the Cocoa Pop rock type things.
I have seen these on those like Kev's New Foods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the ones like that. And then I can't remember now. There was one that I was just like, I need to come back and get that. I think it was something peanut butter related, because that's always my go-to when it comes to anything in general. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I've got some really nice ones from that. They bring the American ones in. They did peanut butter Cheerios once.
That's it. That's the one I'm going to get.
Oh my god, yes, get them. They're in my top 5. They'll last you a day.
Yeah, I know.
Guarantee it. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jen, for joining me as well. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
No, okay, it's been good.
Like I've said, I will leave everything that I've mentioned. I've probably forgotten everything that I've mentioned that I said I'd leave in the sort of I think they call it show notes. Say description box. I think the proper term for it is the show notes. So I shall leave it in the show notes for you. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening. And I'll leave both. That's another thing for the show notes. Your personal Insta and your business Insta in there. So if you want to go check her out, give her a follow, support her business. I'd appreciate it. I'm sure she would too. So thanks for enjoying this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.